In case you guys have not figured out, I'm a Nuggets fan. 5280 for life. And I've been a Nuggets fan since the Kenneth Faried days and Ty Lawson and those guys. They were not good at that point, if you did not know. And one of the questions I've had this year are the Nuggets going to end up making a big time trade using, obviously, Michael Porter Jr., who has a max contract that is obviously a max contract for a player who is not at the level of what should be considered a max contract type of player. I'd assume a lot of you outside of Nuggets Nation have not seen this video, um, and so let's just watch it really quick.
We're not trading Michael Porter, so I'm not touching base with anybody on that. I'm touching base with guys on better defense, better spacing, taking care of the ball. And if there's something coming, obviously Calvin will talk with me, and I'm sure we'll communicate with whatever players. But Michael is a really important piece. Michael helped us win a championship, so we'll see what happens going into this coming Thursday, rather. But to my knowledge, there have been no conversation, so I don't feel the need to converse with somebody when there's nothing there.
So in my mind, Michael Malone never usually lies to the media. If you look back at his history, he hasn't lied about situations such as Peyton Watson and young guys like Michael Porter when he was a rookie. He never usually lies to the media. So in my head, I think that this means there is truly nothing there for Michael Porter Jr. Now, the question to me is what on earth are the Nuggets going to do in order to truly make themselves championship contenders? Because right now they are in a tough spot to where they are relying on Nikola Jokic for every single aspect of the game. In case you did not watch the Nuggets versus Pelicans game just last night at time of recording, um, I don't know why any of you would have, but there's a guy by the name of Zeke Naji who is on the Nuggets currently, making about $8.8 million. And a lot of you are going to be like, "What? Who? Who is that? Why is Zeke Naji making that much money? He doesn't even play." Yeah, you're right. Well, the Nuggets have been shorthanded recently. They have Russell Westbrook out with injury. They have Aaron Gordon out with injury. Peyton Watson out with injury. Those are their three of their best defensive players at the moment. And so they had to not bring in, but they had to let Zeke Naji start last night on Zion Williamson. So most people were like, "Oh, this is not going to end well. The Nuggets are going to get destroyed." All the things, but Zeke Naji locked him up, and I mean locked him up. Now Trey Murphy had a great game. Shout out Trey Murphy, but with his matchup being Zion, he really played really well. And I know a team that is looking for a athletic, a defensive-minded big. And that team is the Lakers, obviously. My point in this video is not that the Lakers need to go get Zeke Naji, because I already had a video talking about the Lakers. But my point is that Zeke Naji needs to be traded. And the only way they do that is obviously by adding other pieces in, pieces such as Dario Saric. It could include a guy like Hunter Tyson, who's a very young player, Jalen Pickett, guys like that. And they only have one tradable first-round pick, so that's obviously like it's going to be hard to make a big splash with something like that. But I do think they can get something to happen. But let's talk first about what the Nuggets need. First and foremost, they need a backup center. They need to have a backup center, a true backup center, not named DeAndre Jordan, who is 93 years old. They need to have a true backup center on the roster who can truly come in and impact the game at least solid level, so that Jokic can rest. If you missed the playoffs last year, the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic specifically got beat down so hard because of all the minutes that Michael Malone had Jokic playing, because they didn't have a true backup center. Some guys that come to mind: Jonas Valanciunas. Jonas Valanciunas would be such a perfect fit. I think guys like him. Another one that came to mind was Gershon Yabusele. But he's not like a true big. He's more of just a strong big, which actually was fine in 2023 when they made their championship run. They had Jermichael Green and Jeff Green off the bench, who are both normally power forwards, but they played the backup center and it's fine. So I don't think that would be too bad of an option. But right now, their best option is DeAndre Jordan, and smaller, their option is Peyton Watson, he's too small. He's not strong enough. And Gershon Yabusele. So those are two names that could definitely fill the role of backup big. But I don't think that's the only thing that they should be looking for. They should be looking for a player who can play 3 and D really well. One thing about the Nuggets that has stood out this season is they don't take a lot of threes. They just don't. And in a league where it is shifting towards only shooting threes and things like that, they need to be able to shoot threes. And they have guys. They have Michael Porter Jr., like I said. They have Julian Strawther, who's a great, great shooter. Jamal Murray can shoot at times. Jokic is a great shooter. But they don't take volume threes. They need to have that one guy, in my eyes, off the bench that can come in and just not necessarily shot chuck, but shoot the ball well, that they let shoot consistently. And I guess also in hopefully, I guess an add-on would be it needs to be a defensive-minded player as well. One of the players that has been linked to the Nuggets is Cody Martin, not Caleb Martin, Cody Martin from the Hornets. He's not like the best shooter in the world, but he is a good defensive player, a good defensive guard, and would be a really nice help, honestly, in my eyes, to the Nuggets. Another name that has been tossed around is Torrey Craig, who just got released. I believe from the Bulls. I could be wrong, but he just got waived. So the Nuggets, obviously, there's ties there. He used to be on the Nuggets way back when, but there's ties there. Michael Malone loves him, so there's things that go on there. And Torrey Craig is also one of the defensive players. The last name that I've seen being thrown around for the Nuggets is Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is obviously a sniper from three, and he's not too expensive right now. So in my eyes, that's probably my most intriguing acquisition that they could probably get. I think if they ended up getting him, that would be a huge, huge addition and would definitely contribute to their 3 point struggles. It wouldn't contribute much to their defense, but it definitely would contribute to their 3 point shooting, which is something that they really, really struggle with. But the one thing that all of those guys have in common is that you don't have to commit to them long term. You don't. Jonas Valanciunas is older. He's not like super old, but he's an older backup center. Yabusele is I guess you could consider him a one hit wonder. Jordan Clarkson's a little bit older, not super old, but a little bit older. You don't need to fully commit to him. And same thing with all the other guys. Like they're just not players you have to commit to long term. And you don't have to give up much, especially if it's Zeke Naji, and maybe Dario Saric or Hunter Tyson. You don't have to give up too much um, in order to get these players, in order to compete for Jokic's price. But the most important thing that all Nuggets fans and Michael Malone agree on is that the Nuggets want to win now. And right now, with all the league getting shook up, with the Luka trade, with the De'Aaron Fox trade, with all of these big trades happening, and if you just saw, like Caleb Martin was just traded to the Mavericks today, and I mean that's not too big, but stuff like that. The Nuggets have the best player in the world. They have the best player in the world in his prime, at his very best, playing at one of the best seasons ever. And if the Nuggets don't capitalize on that, they're going to regret it for a long time.